Welcome and thanks for listening to the Choose Joy podcast with Dr. Joy Vaughn. In this episode, we dive into reinvention, and actually, Dr. Joy has a reinvention boot camp coming up. So she gets into some of those details and why reinventing yourself is so important.
Thank God, okay, because I prayed and I tell you, He really answered prayer, right? But if we look at it, before we even get into the boot camp, I just wanted to look at reinvention. Why is it important, right? Look, there is no question that COVID has hit everybody hard. I just spoke to someone abroad and they are looking to stem the suicide rate because everybody is going down the slippery slope of depression. Here in the country, there are millions of people out of work. What a perfect time. I mean, this is the opportunity for you to reinvent yourself and to look to do something different. So what do I mean by reinventing yourself? It means really looking at the gifts. You are not one-dimensional. You were never meant to be one-dimensional. You're a multi-dimensional human being with a ton of gifts and talents that you could use, but particularly for those who are not entrepreneurs, or even those who are entrepreneurs, right? As we go through life itself, we get to see that, we get into the grind and we don't really think about ourselves. And I just want to incorporate, there are fire engine sirens going off in the background, there's thunder rolling. I'm telling you, it's a sign, people, that you need to just jump in and do something rather than just sit on your laurels and wish and hope and think and pray. Now is the time for action. Now is the time to move and move now. This is not the time to be commiserating. And if you don't know, that's why we're here to help you sort that out. Reinvention is a journey. Reinvention is a process. It's like we talked about the caterpillar becoming a butterfly, right? That's what reinvention is. And if you're interested in that, look, we're in 2020. It is time to prepare for 2021 because 2020 is gone. Well, we have 3 or 4 months left? We've lost half a year already. So let's dig in. What are we going to do come January 1st, 2021? You can't wait till January 1st, 2021 to just say, okay, I'm going to do something. It's too late, people. Too late, okay? You got to do this now. Like, no kidding. Right? And because see, even the thunder agrees with me, right? You gotta do it now. Right?
I was gonna say
freedom. There's nothing like freedom.
There you go again.
There's nothing like freedom. So you don't have to be bound in your circumstance. You sentence yourself. Okay, we've been sentenced to our little home jails during COVID. I get that, right? But I think of Mandela, Nelson Mandela. In his cell, he was able to transform an entire country from his jail cell. So if he could do it, and it's all because of his thoughts. He began to think differently about things. He began to create, So you are meant to be you were born to be a creative human being. And now is the time to really rise up and say, you know what? I am not staying down. I might be down, but I am not staying there. What do I need to do? And so in the Reinvention Bootcamp, we actually look at that. What can you do? What do you want to do? And we hold your hand step by step by step throughout those 90 days so that you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. And that, I think, is the beauty of it. You are not alone. You have your accountability partners. You have your coaching. You have your teachings. You're looking. You're asking yourself. You have your 90-day plan that you have to actualize. We're requiring that you manifest this plan in 90 days. And we're a stand that you manifest this plan in 90 days. Whatever you put on that paper, it'll come to pass. Because we know that your word is more than anything else. And we give our word to you. We want you to give your word to yourself. That you are going to create something newly and become that butterfly that God that God meant you to be.
That's amazing. That's it's one of those things that we look for and we try to find on our own. So to know that you are on that mission to help those that are stuck, those that are maybe didn't take advantage of these last 4 or 5 months to get moving, to reinvent themselves. To again, like you said, this whole situation, COVID, is not going away. So there's still time. There's still time to reinvent yourselves. And we're looking over just what some of the goals of what the boot camp and what you were saying right now. And one of the things that stuck out for me, and because personal experience, is reconnecting with your why, right?
Mhm.
And it's one of the things that again for me stuck out. So why is that important?
So you were talking about people need to know their why. That's the
Hmm.
thing that stood out for you, yes?
Hmm.
And most people, I want to make it $1 million, but why? Right? So what? What are you doing it for? Your why has to be bigger than you. And every guru will tell you your why is something that calls you forth to a bigger purpose than yourself. Whether it's leaving a legacy. Like we in the course that I take at Landmark, they always want to know, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want people to know about you at the end? What do you want to leave behind? Right? Not just for the children, but for the world. And some people say, well, I'm not really interested in that. I just want to get through one day. I can't even think about a legacy. Well, perhaps in this process, you might want to think about one. And a legacy is whatever you choose. It doesn't have to be something grand like Superwoman or Superman saving the world. But a legacy might be just okay for my grandchildren. I don't want to have future generations go through the same thing I have gone through. So therefore, I'm going to break what we call this generational curse that has me gripped in fear or in sabotage or in procrastination. I want to break that because I know the effect it has on me, and the fact is, it's not a great effect. So I don't want to pass that on because I get that, and let me distinguish like what is the impact of being that way, and it's huge when you just get, oh my gosh, Do you know, Steve, the greatest thing that people are dealing with, and I don't know if you've seen this too, and they are dealing with, I give to everybody else but me. I sacrifice myself for everybody else, whether it's my job, my children, my husband, my community. Everybody gets a piece of me except me. And it leaves me frustrated and angry and upset. And now I'm going into victim mode. Poor me. Why isn't anybody taking care of me? Mama, 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 like Linus.
I'm smiling over here, and a couple of reasons why. The generational curse, what you just said. On Mondays, we have this, the ushers at our church, we have this weekly Bible study. And we're doing it all through Zoom and everything else. And one of the things that stuck out yesterday was one of the ladies on there brought up generational curse.
Okay.
And that's why I'm smiling, because I'm like, it's that intentionality always, Joy, I know what the generational curse is. I know it, but to hear it back to back last night, today, wow. And not just that. I was smiling also because I mentioned to them last night that I was just having a conversation about that with somebody in the morning. So I mean, the last 24 hours, the whole generational curse thing has, like, there's something going on there, right?
Yes, definitely.
You
And
know,
perhaps
and
you need to explain what that is, though, because some people, not
mhm.
everybody understands what that is. It's the patterns and behaviors, the self-destructive patterns and behaviors that are passed down throughout the generations. And I'm looking at it from a spiritual perspective, that is one level. But from a neuropsychological perspective, it's those brain patterns that get passed on through repeated behaviors that this is how things are, this is how things should be, and we're just going to do it that way, right? So if
And
Uncle Bob
mhm.
or Uncle Harry or Grandpa dealt with alcoholism, right? And were brought up in that, and drinking was an acceptable part of your community and so forth. Then, you're carrying on that even to the detriment of your own health. Kind of like that. I hope that, and if it's not clear to you, please email me and I'll be happy to share a little bit more on that.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. And my example of it was that my dad wasn't there for me
Mm,
when I was younger, and then he ended up passing away at a really young age, so he didn't get that chance to be there for me. So that for me translated into I'm not going to do that for my kids. So I had my daughter very young. I had her at 17,
yeah.
and I always told myself I wasn't going to let myself not be involved. And again, that was at 17. I was like,
Mm,
I'm there. I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to live that. And then now with my son, he's 3, so and my daughter's 18 now, so 15 years apart. And I'm the exact same way. I changed my life around completely to fit his needs, to suit what the situation that we're going through with him. Because of that, because I was not going to let that generational curse that I wasn't going to let that happen.
right.
So
Yeah.
he wasn't there for me, but I was going to make sure that I was there for them. I wasn't going to accept that as being okay, and you know, so again,
Congratulations, by the way, for your willingness to break that.
that's
Okay.
what it is, right? It's that intentionality, and thank you, but it's that intentionality of saying no. I know that's not the way it should be. I'm not going to allow it, but not everybody has that awareness, right?
Yes. Yes. And we talked about awareness. That's one of the things, the biggest things we do in the boot camp. We teach you how to be aware because most people walk around in a fog. They don't even realize they're in a fog, but they're big, they're fogged out. And so we clean the lenses, so to speak. We unfog you so that you can get the clarity you need to be able to move forward powerfully in your life. And I know there are a lot of coaches who do the same thing, but I think where we differ, we go very, very deep down to the cellular level and are able to do that quick change um, that has people then move forward exponentially. Thank you for concurring with me, Evans. Thank you. That thunder, we couldn't have timed it better, right?
I got no words.
Oh, thank you,
I
Lord.
seldomly am at a loss for words, but I am at a loss for words with the timing of that one.
Oh, the timing was brilliant, right?
So, oh man. So I mean, it's I mean, if that's not enough motivation for anyone to get on in and reach out to you, I don't know what else is going to be. Wow. So yeah, what's so in addition to reconnecting with the why, the other thing was, and speaking to walking around in a fog, you're also going to help figuring out what's crystal clear on what's next for them, right?
Yes, yeah. And let me speak to that a little bit because most people talk about fogginess. When you've been let go, when you're in this fog, you generally don't know which way to move, right? Particularly if you're looking at, okay, I don't even know if I'm going to get another job. My finances may not be right. Here's the beauty about we work with you. We really do. If you are having trouble with your finances, we really work with you. We work it out. Our commitment to serve you is greater than anything else. So we are in service to you. What would have you be powerful in the next 90 days? Now, that doesn't mean that we're doormats and we just roll over and you can roll over us. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's about working with you to see, okay, what do you have? And how can we maximize that? So,
No, and again, that's amazing because a lot of us, including myself, we all struggle or have struggled with finding that clarity. And I've mentioned this to you several times. I was stuck in that fog, um, and pride gets in the way, and I can figure it out on my own. I'm gonna figure it out on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we've referenced that meme in the past where it's the dog sitting in the middle of the burning room,
Yes,
and he's like,
yeah,
it's okay, it's fine, everything's fine.
yeah,
That was me. Everything was burning down around me. I'm like, oh, it's fine, it'll resolve itself, or I'll get
yes,
around to it. Like, what was wrong with me, right? you know but I'm aware, and I acknowledge it, and I took the accountability. But I've also come to learn that I was wired very differently, and
mm,
um, and because, not again, in having these types of conversations, not only with you, just over time, there's a lot of us that struggle with that and can't get out of that on their
yes,
own. And
yes,
and, and to I say on their own. I also have an amazing support system with my wife, and it was through that encouragement also that I was able to get out of that rut, out of that fog. Um, so the bigger point is, you don't have to do this alone. You know,
no,
having somebody like you, having a program like this for somebody to be able to um, go on that journey with is I in my opinion, I would say one of the most important parts of the whole reinvention process. What do you say about that?
absolutely. We were, as human beings, we weren't meant to do life by ourselves, right? We really were meant to do life together, you know. Um, and one of the things about the boot camp is that you are in a group with maybe 6 or 7 other people. We keep it small, right? Particularly because it's a very private journey. We don't, this is not a Zoom conversation either. Nobody sees each other. You only hear each other because we want to maintain the best anonymity possible so that people can just focus on themselves. We know with the visual cortex that once you see something, all the opinions get formed, your mind goes a different place, those neurons are firing, and it helps to fog you up even more. The visual cortex is probably the most powerful cortex there is in your brain. So if we can occlude that, then therefore everybody can just speak freely. There is a tremendous amount of transparency in the group. There's a amount of confidentiality in the group, right? Like I said, everybody has to sign non-disclosure form. Everybody has to sign confidentiality forms so that you know that your business is not going to be blasted on Facebook or shared. I can't even do that. Like let's say I have somebody and their spouse asks, well, how do they do it? I cannot share and I will not share any of that information with them because frankly, it's none of their business. If the person wants to share, that's on them. But I personally will not be doing that. And as a coach, I swore oath not to do that.
And I think it's important for somebody like you with your background to point that out, because at the end of the day, one of the biggest things that holds us back is that fear of being
Yes,
judged, fear of failing. And if somebody thinks that they're going to be in an environment where they might fail and be judged, I mean, that's you're never going to get to it.
exactly.
um, and I say somebody with your background because a colleague of yours, Gail, I feel like we've been having this similar conversation the past few weeks, and it's you know I always like to, and she laughs every time, but I always like to bring up that um, people like to say that they don't see color, right? And that's not true. Like, again, it's that visual cortex. It's the first thing. Again, I always tell her, like, in a relationship, or when you're attracted to someone,
Yes,
you don't know who they are. You're attracted to them. They catch your eye from across the room, or whatever the case is.
right.
So you notice them physically. So those people that say, "Oh, I don't see color," no, like, it's the first thing that you notice. It's the physical.
Yes,
Um, and I say with your background, and for you to explain it that way, it's important. It matters, and I'm glad you brought that up, and that you clarified that this is not a Zoom meeting where everybody's in a box and it's that impersonal. No, it's it's there's the visual part of it is not the judging based on your physical appearance is not there.
No.
Right.
And what I love is extremely intimate. Yeah.
Exactly.
But the bonding occurs, and it's a synergistic kind of journey where you're learning from each other, they're learning from you. All right. You get your one-on-one bonus coaching calls, 3 of them. It's whatever is needed and wanted to serve you and to have you be a win at the end of 90 days. And everybody wants to go for the money. Oh, yeah, I want to make 50,000. Listen, we look at the underlying behaviors, because if you can't get out the gate and you can't take the first step, or even more, if you take step 1, 2, and 3, and then you decide, oh my goodness, I'm not going to take step 4, then what's the point? What's the point?
Or then it becomes, you've talked about this before. It's that commitment to being happy for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
That. If you don't get to the underlying part, a few months are going to go by and you're going to go back to where you were before you started the boot camp. So preparing that person it's a lifelong journey that you're setting them on.
Yes. Yeah. And here's another bonus that I didn't tell them. But we, after the 90 days, it's not like, okay, bye-bye, nice seeing you. No, we actually check in with you.
That's important.
We always check in with you. Part of the way to see, hey, how's it going? How's it, what do you need?
So give me just another bonus of what they get from the Reinvention Bootcamp. How connected are they going to be, and what can they expect out of that?
Yeah, so at the end of 90 days, you can expect to walk out in victory with whatever you said you wanted, right? Some people are taking themselves on and their happiness as a plan, as part of their 90-day reinvention plan, because they realize they have to start at the very foundation, right? Some people want another job. Some people maybe want to explore another option for themselves, another stream of income, right? But people want what they want. Do they want to do what it takes to get there? That's the million-dollar question, right? So if they want to do what it takes to get there, we will help them. And in 90 days, you will walk up with a plan that would have you get there. Some people have already gotten there. I had, everybody gets a pre-coaching call, right? As part of their three-part series. So I was on a coaching call with one, and he realized, look, you know what my problem is? I take care of everybody else but myself. And he was saying, at the end of it, he had a toothache. He did not address it a year ago because he was busy taking care of everybody else. Long and short of it, right? 1 year later, 2 root canals later, right? A mouthful of fillings later. Had he done it back then, he wouldn't have gotten to this point. One conversation, and he's in the dentist chair today.
I was going to say, are you talking about me? Because I haven't been to the dentist, but I fit that profile.
If you know my journey, the dentist and I like dentists. I just don't like what they do. Okay, because my RA came from a dental procedure, but
right.
Nevertheless, it's that need to procrastinate that has you ruin yourself. And we really dig deep into these things with a stand that you get rid of that forever. Forever. Like, that is not who you are, and that's not where you need to be right now. Not if you say you want something different for yourself. See, what comes out of your mouth and your actions have got to line up. I don't care what you say. Show me show me. What are you doing? What are you not doing? What do you want to do? And how can we help you? How can we serve you? So that's what we're about in the boot camp. And I can't wait to start. I opened up a few more slots. I pushed stuff back a little bit. So this Saturday we have our first one, and as I said, we have 3 seats left for this. So you really want to get in and jump in like right now. You can go to drjoycoaching.com and book your strategy session with me. Or you can email me at info@drjoycoaching.com. That's info at drjoycoaching.com. We will post the Calendly link. You just book a time that we can have a strategy call, because we are only looking for a selected group of people. We're looking at people who are serious, not people who are play. We just don't have time for that, right? If you're serious about it, then we're the people for you. If you're not serious and you're just playing and exploring, then perhaps at another time, right, you might be able to take advantage of our offers, because we have other offers as well. But for this one, this is for the folks in COVID-19 who really want to move themselves and move now, and who want to prepare themselves for 2021, because it's coming.
I was going to say it's important that you mentioned that right there, because what I want the listeners to know how genuine you are in helping them reinvent themselves and get into that point is this is not it's not a business, like you were just telling me how you had to say no to someone that just wasn't ready for it. So you're not just, hey, if you've got the money, come and join. No, because it's going to impact the rest that are in that group. It's going to, again, it's not about the money. So I just felt it important to bring that up, because you're going to take this journey with them. It's not just about taking, again, accepting the payment and, all right, we're going to, toss you in here. No, it's a personalized, you're ready, I'm ready, let's do this. Let's change your life, let's reinvent, who you are and get you on that path. So again, just felt that it was important to bring that up and to highlight that, because a lot of coaches out there right now that, if you got the money, let's sign you up, and it's a very templated experience that somebody gets put in, and yeah, you're not that. So
no, this is one-on-one, heart-to-heart coaching. This is really genuinely heart-to-heart coaching. See, if you know me for a little bit, I love people.
Oh yeah.
I love people. I love helping people. I love serving people. Okay, that's my heart. Have everybody be in a different space.
Yeah, no, and then again, having that experience to be able to do this walk with you, I think it's a big plus.
Yes.
Just because of who you are and how much you love helping and serving others, and just I was looking through one of our conversations recently, and just the feedback that you had gotten from someone here, and I'm not got to look for who it was, but the feedback was that you were told that you, as a coach, lovingly look past the person and speak to their souls so that their light and true selves can emerge and shine the way God intended them to shine. Went on to say that you also bring profound clarity to the mental confusion and clutter that so often keeps one frozen and afraid to move forward. Now,
Yes.
how intentional is that with what we've been discussing? And again, to get that feedback from a third party about you, again, I just, with the thunder and the sirens and everything else, I think that subtle exclamation point to who you are and who they would be taking that journey with, I can't think of a better way to finalize that point.
Yes. Yeah. And that was from somebody who had just worked with me for about 2 weeks.
Huh.
2 weeks.
Huh. 3 weeks, and we're talking about a 90-day boot camp. Just imagine at the end of that journey. Wow.
There's no telling. And that's part of the fun, right? You never know. Like, wow, what wows you're going to experience. But my commitment is to serve and serve well. Because I know, Steve, I have to answer to a higher order. And that's what keeps me on the straight and narrow. I really, really would not want to get to the end of my life and not hear well done, thy good and faithful servant. That would be not cool for me.
Agreed.
So that's what I do, and I love what I do.
I've always told you, your name, even to me, your name is intentional because you do bring joy. So awesome. Again, Dr. Joy, thank you so very much for your time. We'll get this posted ASAP and make sure that, those last 3 seats are meant for someone. They're intended for someone, and we're going to make sure that they hear this message and are able to sign up. So thank you again for sharing.